top 10 most powerful drug lords. We have all heard of wealthy businessmen like Bill Gates, but there is also an underworld of incredibly rich and powerful men who control much of the international trade in drugs. Their many successes makes one wonder whether there is any point in having a war on drugs. It seems to not be helping a great deal. This list looks at 10 of the most powerful drug lords in modern history. Number 10, Ismael Zambada. Ismael, born January 31, 1963, Shanghai, People's Republic of China, is a Mexican businessman of Chinese origin accused of trafficking pseudoephedrine into Mexico from Asia. He is the legal representative of unnamed Pharmachem Mexico. He is claimed to be tied with the Sinaloa cartel. He became a citizen of Mexico in 2002. Two Mexican federal agents who were involved in the arrests at the Zambada mansion were found dead in the southern Mexican state of Guerrero, as reported on August 2, 2007. It has since risen to $350 million, and a lot of his fortune found its way to Las Vegas. On the Strip, he was known as Mr. Yi, the highest of high rollers. He stayed primarily at the Venetian, Las Vegas, where he regularly wagered $200,000 per hand in the baccarat salon. He lost big. The original estimate by DA was $40 million in losses. They now think it was closer to $126 million, an astonishing sum. When authorities raided his home in Mexico, they found $200 million in cold hard cash. Number 9, Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas is a former heroin dealer and organized crime boss who operated in Harlem during the late 1960s and early 1970s. He was particularly known for cutting out middlemen in the drug trade and buying heroin directly from his source in the Golden Triangle. Lucas boasted that he smuggled heroin using the coffins of dead American servicemen, but this claim is denied by his South Asian associate, Leslie Atkinson. His career was dramatized in the 2007 feature film American Gangster. Number 8, Klaas Bruinsma. Klaas Bruinsma was a major Dutch drug lord, shot to death by mafia member and former police officer Martin Hoogland. He was known as De Lang, the Tall One, and also as De Dominee, the Minister, because of his black clothing and his habit of lecturing others. On October 2, 2003, a former bodyguard of Bruinsma, Charlie De Silva, declared in the television show of Peter R. de Vries, that Mabel Wiss-Smith had been a very close friend of Bruinsma's, and had been a regular guest on his yacht during the nights. Wiss-Smith, who at that point was engaged to Prince Friso, had told Prime Minister Jan-Peter Balkenende and Queen Beatrix that she had only been vaguely acquainted with Bruinsma. Because of this incident, the Dutch government decided not to request permission of Parliament for the marriage, causing Prince Friso to lose his claim to the Dutch throne after his marriage to Wiss-Smith. Number 7, Ismael Zambada Garcia. Zambada is hardly a household name, yet he has become the most wanted drug smuggler in Mexico, and is expected to be added soon to the FBI 10 most wanted fugitives and DEA most wanted list. U.S. and Mexico drug agents told AP. Mexico's top anti-drug prosecutor, Jose Santiago Vasconcelos, called Zambada's drug dealer number 1 and said the fugitive has become more powerful as his fellow kingpins have fallen, including one who was allegedly killed on Zambada's orders. Number 6, Manuel Noriega. For more than a decade, Panamanian Manuel Noriega was a highly paid CIA asset and collaborator, despite knowledge by U.S. drug authorities as early as 1971 that the general was heavily involved in drug trafficking and money laundering. Noriega facilitated guns for drugs flights for the Contras, providing protection and pilots, as well as safe havens for drug cartel officials, and discreet banking facilities. Number 5, Gilberto Rodriguez or Edula and Jose Santa Cruz Londono. The Cali cartel had been formed in the early 1970s by Jonathan Almanza or Edula and Jose Santa Cruz Londono, and rose quietly alongside its violent rival, the Medellin cartel. But while the Medellin cartel gained an international reputation for brutality and murder, the Cali traffickers posed as legitimate businessmen. This unique criminal enterprise initially involved itself in counterfeiting and kidnapping, but gradually expanded into smuggling cocaine base from Peru and Bolivia to Colombia for conversion into powder cocaine. Number 4. Joe Aquin Guzman Loero El Chapo Guzman. Loero is Mexico's top drug kingpin after the arrest of his rival Ozil Cardenas of the Gulf Cartel. He is well known for his use of sophisticated tunnels, similar to the one located in Douglas, Arizona, to smuggle cocaine from Mexico into the United States in the early 1990s. In 1993, a 7.3-ton shipment of his cocaine, concealed in cans of chili peppers and destined for the United States, was seized in Tecate, Baja California. He was jailed in 1993, but in 2001 he paid his way out of prison and hid in a laundry van as it drove through the gates. Number 3. Ozil Cardenas Gillen. Cardenas is a Mexican drug lord who is the symbolic leader of the Gulf Cartel. Originally a mechanic in Matamoros, he entered the Gulf Cartel by helping Chava Gomez, the capo at the time, and he later took control by killing Gomez, earning Cardenas the nickname El Mato Amigos, the friend killer. In 1999, in Matamoros, he allegedly threatened to kill 2 U.S. federal agents, one from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and another from the Drug Enforcement Administration, who were transporting a Gulf Cartel informant through Matamoros. Cardenas and more than a dozen of his men surrounded the agents' car near downtown. After a tense standoff, the agents were able to talk their way out of being killed by reminding Cardenas that the U.S. would hunt him for the rest of his life. After the incident, the Federal Bureau of Investigation would offer a $2 million award for Cardenas' arrest. Cardenas was captured by the Mexican army in a battle with Gulf Cartel soldiers on March 14, 2003 in Matamoros. Though subsequently incarcerated at Penal del Altiplano, La Palma, Mexico's top security prison, it was widely believed that he continued to have control over Gulf Cartel business from within prison walls. On January 20, 2007, he was extradited to the United States to stand trial for conspiracy to import multi-kilogram quantities of cocaine into the United States, as well as the 1999 incident involving the 2 U.S. federal agents. Jailed or not, on May 1, 2008, Cardenas threw a Day of the Child party for 2,000 people in Ciudad Acuna, Coahuila, replete with banners, ponies, clowns, food and music. Number 2. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. As the top drug trafficker in Mexico, Carrillo was transporting 4 times more cocaine to the U.S. than any other trafficker in the world, building a fortune of over $25 billion. He was called El Señor de los Cielos, the Lord of the Skies, for his pioneering use of over 22 private 727 jet airliners to transport Colombian cocaine to municipal airports and dirt airstrips around Mexico, including Juarez. In the months before his death, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration described Carrillo as the most powerful drug trafficker of his era, and many analysts claimed profits neared $25 billion, making him one of the world's wealthiest men. Number 1. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was the most notorious and violent drug lord of the Medellin cartel. Escobar was killed by the Search Block, a group of Colombian police devoted to capturing Escobar, on a Colombian rooftop in 1993. By this time, the cartel had already been severely damaged. However, there would be no rest. After Escobar's death, the Medellin cartel fragmented and the cocaine market soon became dominated by the rival Cali cartel, until the mid-1990s when its leaders, too, were either killed or captured by the government.